Alright, we are hopefully streaming, just singing till it goes up, doing my usual thing of just stringing until stuff happens. Hopefully it sounds good. I'm waiting for you to tell me in the chat that we have everything up. How is everyone doing tonight? Hope you all are good. Hello, Council of Geeks. How are you doing today? Hello, Catherine and Jody and Pedro and Beta Artemis. I'm just gonna keep doing that. Hey, Gozer and Corey. How is everybody today? It's good to see everybody. It's good to see you. By the way, Beta Artemis. I don't know if you. I think you've been in like only one or two of these live stream, so it's nice to see you. Nice to see you, Miguel. Just Carowin. No worries. Well, I didn't know you had a podcast, Pedro. Well, that's awesome. And hello, Reinhardt. It's good to see you. I haven't seen you in a little while. And hello, Evelyn. Yeah, it's good to see everyone today. So, yeah, it's nice. How's everyone doing tonight? What is up with everybody? Today I got a little bit of a couple surprises. Well, surprises, just weird fun stuff because I'm a nerd and I have some fun stuff. Hello from America. Hello, Hannah. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce Russian letters. Since I am of Russian descent, my grandmother would be incredibly angry at me. She would always call me Svinya as a kid, and that's like the one Russian word I know. Svinya and Baba, because she was my Baba. Nice hello from hello, my Russian friend, and I'm sorry I can't say your name if you want to let me know how to pronounce it. It looks like Hannah, but I don't know how to pronounce Russian letters, so it's good to see you. Hello, Anna, and hello, Jay. I know I did bring shame to my lineage council. The only two words I know in Russian, like I said, are svinyo, which I believe is pig, and then like I said, Baba, because it's grandmother. And I have my grandmother's husband, my grandfather. I called him Pop-Up, which I don't think is Russian at all. I just think it's Pop-Up. So, oh, very cool. Mainly werewolf. I've never heard of that RPG. That's super cool. I'll have to check it out, Pedro. And yes, since Jedi Indiana Jones brought it up, or no, sorry, well, hi, Corey brought it up. I'm looking at the chat here. I do have a Funko Pop here that I'm going to be opening up of Mr. Saru from Star Trek Discovery. It's just a Funko Pop, but I just figured unboxing it and taking a look at it would be fun. I was also supposed to have Michael Burnham's Pop today, which was super excited about because I like, honestly, to be honest, I like Michael Burnham more than Saru. I love Saru. Doug Jones is wonderful, but Sonequa Martin Green and Michael Burnham, I adore that character. But unfortunately, because I live in Los Angeles, someone stole the package. So it said it was delivered. It was got here. There's even a picture, I believe, of it. And I wasn't here, and someone took the package. That's Los Angeles, or really any big city for you. So that's kind of unfortunate, but whatever. It's a Funko Pop. It's not a big deal. So I'm hopefully going to get a refund or another version of it through Amazon, which is what I got. But whatever, I got Saru, and Saru is wonderful. So we will open up him today. But I'm just glad that I got him because I want to support. There's not a lot of Discovery like lower grade Discovery merchandise. Like I don't have a lot of money to buy like the higher end Star Trek stuff. I have a few things. Most of these are actually gifts, to be honest with you. But you know what? I like supporting sort of the lower ends, the cheaper things that are in my budget. So yeah, I just want to open it up. Yeah, and it's nice and hello, Mouse Pounder. I didn't get to say hi to you. Good to see you. Hello, Jody. Yeah, it's one of the dangers of living in a city. I mean, to be honest, hopefully I get to leave Los Angeles in the near future. There's some stuff hopefully will be happening about that. Nothing. The only thing I know on the job front is I did not get the Polygon job. I heard yesterday that I didn't get it, which sucks. I was kind of down about it, but, we move on. We can move forward. I actually just applied Game Informer, surprisingly enough, had a job opening that I'm actually overqualified for. So I figured I'd at least apply for the overqualified job, see what comes of that. So that I might get the Game Informer job, which would be nice. But whatever, there's a couple other possibilities in the future. We'll sort of see where life takes me, but nothing definitive yet. So that's where I'm at in the job hunt. Anyways, We are going to open up the Funko Pop, and I'm going to hang out, and we'll just do some Q&A fun, hanging out in the chat with everybody. But I also have some other fun things, and this is me being a super big nerd. This is me being a dumb nerd who just likes weird stuff. But I finally got my unemployment money, which took... They didn't approve it until literally like 2 weeks ago, so I wasn't getting any unemployment. But I finally got my unemployment money, and which, by the way, thank you to my patrons for supporting me through that. That was a big help during that time. But anyways, yeah, I know I'm a nerd, right, Council of Geeks? But anyways, finally getting that money. So I want to save it because crazy times. We'll see how that. We'll see how everything shakes out job wise. But I figured I'd allow myself to splurge just a little bit with that extra $600, helping the economy. But also I figured I'd splurge just a tiny bit to get some equipment for this channel to help me with the upcoming Star Trek reviews. Because starting tomorrow, we got 23 weeks of Star Trek. And that's a lot of stuff, and I'm going to be reviewing them as everybody's looking forward to, I'm sure. So I'm going to be putting them up as soon as possible. But one of the big problems with reviewing all these things instantly is it takes a lot of work to set up all the equipment and stuff. So I decided to splurge a little bit and get a nice setup that will allow me to just sit down on this computer and start shooting videos, but not have to sacrifice my quality. So first thing I did was I did this crazy thing, and look. I have this camera right here, which is my nice camera that I shoot all of my, it's a little bit buggy right here because we're live streaming, but this is my nice camera that I actually shoot all my videos on, and I have a thing that now lets me hook it up to the computer, so now I can actually just sit down and I can angle it a little bit out over here so you can get this, and then just because I'm a nerd, I have a third angle right there, and you can see I have a little light right here, and then if you want to go real crazy, I have all of them. Whoa, it's crazy, insane stuff. But anyways, this is the nice camera. But I also bought, and you can't see it's on my bed right now because I have to hook it up. I bought a little arm thing, kind of like this right here. A little arm thing that'll help it like swing out, so that I can leave my camera set up, have this light here, and then I can just swing it out so I can get my normal background. And then instead of having to like set up all the lights and camera and all that jazz, I can just swing everything out and just film from there and make my life a hell of a lot easier. Instead of having to set up every single time I want to shoot something, I can just sit down on my computer, swing it out, and just start filming right on the computer. And also, even better, I'll be able to have a monitor because usually I have to film and hope to God that nothing goes crazy. But now I'll be able to actually see it on my computer. So it'll make filming a little bit easier. I'll still be doing the stuff with the green screen and all that jazz, but that'll make my like everyday sit-down videos just remove a lot of the hard work of it. So yeah, I just figured I'd share that with you because that was just a lot of fun. Yeah, fancy camera angles. I know, right? Council Geeks mind blown. It's just it's fun. I don't know. I nerded out about it. It wasn't that expensive too. The thing to connect the camera is only like $70, something like that. And then the arm is $100, and there's a little bit of DIY stuff in there. But yeah, that's the setup. Should be fun. Should make my life a little bit easier. So I figured splurge a little bit in the name of reducing my workload. So I figured that would be fun. Okay, so let's open up this Mr. Saru guy that I've had off camera. Look at him. Look at his little Doug Jonesian face. Look at that. There he is. We'll get him out. We'll rescue him from in there. Yeah. So let's open him up and have some fun, everybody. Let's see if I can. I wonder. Actually, maybe I could actually use these angles for more than just being a dumb nerd. All right. Let's see. Does this look good for everybody in the chat? Does this look? Do you like this angle or do you like this angle for right now? For me opening in this, let me know what you guys think. I know he's a little less orange. I think a lot of it's just this lighting makes my camera a little bit orange. You like this angle better? So okay. So let's open him up. And by the way, again, here's if you want to see the little Michael Burnham. There's a little Michael Burnham. My camera's not focusing because it doesn't have autofocus on. Nope. Well, sorry, but yeah, you get a little bit of Michael Burnham right there. So I'll hold this up so we can open them up. I'm actually very excited about this. I've been wanting. I don't have like the only Discovery thing I have I have a little Discovery ship floating on this shelf right here. And wanting to get more Discovery merchandise. Does he have a base in here? Looks like he does have a base. All about that base. And let's see. So, got a little hole in the foot. And there we are. We got a little Saru. Isn't he adorable? Look how cute he is. Look how creepily cute he is. Let me just, his eyes will stare into your soul. Look at him. Just looking at you. It's terrifying. He's just right there. Okay, enough of that. But yeah, we got a little baby Saru. It looks like he's about to scold you with his hand. You know, he's about to like give you a little bit of a lecture. Like, I should be captain next season. That's what I say. Look at me. I'm Saru. I predict the coming of death. I don't know. I'm trying to be funny. Is that funny for all of you? So yeah, and I also really kind of like if we're gonna be. Oh, actually, that's really kind of funny. I don't know if you can see this. Maybe if I put this on this camera right here, so I can better see. And hey, Continuum, it's good to see you. As you can see, as we all know, the way Saru's feet work, he has huge feet in the show. I say that as if we all know this. But he has huge feet, but I just like his feet are actually kind of huge here. But he has like the hoof feet, but he has like a little bit of a heel here. Which, by the way, I'm all about Saru wearing high heels next season. So this is a spoiler right here, folks. We're getting high-heeled Saru. Saru likes to wear high heels, and I support this fully and completely. So that's your Star Trek Discovery Season 3 exclusive right here on the Jesse Gender channel. Thank you so much. This is your definitive spot for all the useless Star Trek Discovery minutia. But yeah, I will give a little bit of a review of this. I do like this. I do like this little Funko Pop. He does look like he does have that little Funko look, but I like the Saru face. I like seeing his little Discovery uniform is really fun here. I think that's kind of fun. And yeah, I do like the attention to detail of his feet are really, really big here at the bottom. Even though he does have that like weird heel, like glass heel, if you can kind of see it right there. That's sort of there for stability, I'm sure. But yeah, no, it's really cute. I think it's cute. So we shall actually, let's see. Have some fun here. Where shall we put him? I'm looking at you guys here. Move stuff around. Where shall we put Mr. Saru on the shelf? Which I don't know if I've ever given anybody like a nice look at the shelf here. I don't know if you can see because it's kind of dark on this camera. Let me see if I can. I'm gonna see if I can turn up the lighting on this a little bit. Let's see. That should hopefully give you a little bit more. Yeah, now you can kind of see my shelf here. Put Saru over your shoulder so he can look over your shoulder. Sorry, I know you probably can't hear me as well because I'm a little bit further away from the mic. I'm gonna try and bring this. Yeah, I know I'm kind of away from the mic here, everybody. But yeah, here's the little stand that you can kind of get a good look at. Let's see if I can. Sorry, I'm doing this at promptu. I wasn't planning on doing this, so apologies that I'm trying to do this without having any plan to actually have moved my camera, and so I'm awkwardly like off camera and moving my camera here. So I'm gonna make everyone sick. Here we are. So here's this. We got some of my fun little stuff here. That's my little Enterprise family right there. You've got let's see if I can zoom in here. Archer looks like he's being tortured by Mayweather there. Mayweather and Captain Kirk. I do have a Mirror Universe Captain Kirk floating around here somewhere. I don't know where he disappeared to, but I do have a Mirror Universe Captain Kirk floating around somewhere. Let's see. Let me back out here. We got T'Pol kind of hanging out there. We got a Gorn. Got the crew there. Got my little Harley Quinn shelf with more Funko Pops. My little Pride and Joy up here with the NX-01 Enterprise up there. I do want to add lights to the shelf, Catherine. I'm waiting to get my final setup, and once I get my final setup, I'll probably add like LED lights. So, like I do have LED lights if you look up here. I do have some LED lights up there. But yeah, I do plan on that. Anyways, let me just finish showing you guys this because we're not. All right, let's find a place for Saru real quick. Maybe I'll put him. You know what? I'm gonna put him right here, next to Jayla for right now. close. And we got our little Saru and Jayla. Now that's a crossover that I want. I want my little Saru and Jayla crossovers. All right, let me quick get this set up back in a nice place so you can actually see me while we talk and hang out. So, thank you for indulging me in that pointless excursion. Hopefully I didn't lose everybody on that. But I hope you had fun with that. All right, well, yeah, so now we got our little Sarus off on the side there, and we can all just hang out here. Oh, and yeah, if you didn't see, Dax is, let's see what this camera has. I have Dax creepily hanging out right there next to me. She's just, she's always watching. She's just always watching. So, just be aware of that. But yeah, she's right off screen. So yeah, that's Dax. Okay, so let's hang out. I'm done being a nerd and weird and strange, at least, look for this live stream. Yeah, let's just hang out and, see what everyone wants to talk about, and I will, hang on. I'm gonna turn off this light, because I think it looks kind of weird. There we go. There we go, now I look a little bit better. Alright. So, yeah. What does everyone want to talk about? Yeah, Dax is plotting over my shoulder. Someone asked if I saw the Harley Quinn show. I did, and I love it. I adore the Harley Quinn show. I think I've talked about this before. There's a couple problems here and there I have with the show, but overall I love it, and I thought season 2 was great because they really built up the Poison Ivy Harley Quinn romance, which I adore. I always love that, and I thought they built it up really wonderfully and did it really, really, really well. So yeah, I thought that was great, and thank you so much, Reinhardt. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much for your generosity. You are awesome. Your weird nerdiness is why we love you. Why, thank you so much. Sometimes I worry if I'm a bit too weird. Let me show you my shelves on this awkward impromptu camera setup. So, yeah. Reinhardt, I work with a young trans person. I told him about your channel, and he said he loves it. Oh, what you do helps a lot of young people. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I had, the episode's not going to go up for a really long while, but I actually, earlier today, I did an interview with Treklad on his podcast, Networking on Nimbus 3, and we had a really wonderful conversation, but during that conversation, he and I talked about, he complimented me about how the stuff that I do feels important, that it speaks to people, and I sort of talked about on the podcast how, that is so nice to hear, but it's also, it's also scary to hear whenever I hear people compliment me, where it's oh, I don't know. It's just one of those, I'm touched by it. It means a lot. I'm also just surprised that, the stuff that I make means stuff to people. It's kind of scary, too, because I want to make sure that I honor that at all times and try and, make stuff that honors the fact that it means stuff to people. So thank you so much for sharing that. So I appreciate that so much. And I'm glad that it's helping them. Well, thank you so much, Feeny. I really appreciate that. Thank you. I'm really glad that this channel is meaningful to you guys. And gals and MB pals as well. I shouldn't say. I keep saying guys. I need to get that out of my brain. I don't know why I don't know why that's still weren't in here. Blame my age, I guess. I'm not that old, but can the new alien species from the Kelvin Trek movies be used in the TV shows? I guess not. Yeah, I am curious about that, because a lot of the species in the Kelvin movies are just sort of random one-off ones that just appear in the background. But Jayla, who is over there next to Saru now, Jayla is actually a character I really want to appear in the Prime Universe. I love Jayla so much, and I'm actually, that's actually one of the things I'm most sad about not getting another Kelvin movie, is that we might not get more Jayla. I mean, we'll always have more Kirk, Spock, McCoy stories. That's for sure. But I just want more Jayla, because Jayla was great. I thought she was absolutely wonderful, and I'm sad that I'm glad that we haven't gotten. I'm sad that we haven't gotten a lot more of her. So I hope they get. I think the only other time we've gotten her is in comic books. They've done some Kelvin Thailand comic books, so. I think it's cute how Jesse always says thank you when we actually should say thank you. I mean, I'm cis man. I feel like I've learned so much with you, Jesse Gender. Well, thank you so much. See, I even realized as I was saying I was doing that, but thank you, and you're welcome. But also thank you. I mean, I thank you and you're welcome to both of you. I wouldn't be able to do this without all of you, so thank you for that. And I'm very glad that what I give you is meaningful to you, so you're welcome for that. So yeah. Yeah, well, hopefully we'll be able to, once the TV and film divisions are back under one roof, we can actually get stuff. I mean, I would love, like, a big crossover film. Like a Discovery, Picard, some sort of crazy, like, actual 2-hour, like, event. Like they were talking about way, way, way back in the day. Like, after Enterprise got canceled, there was a movie that Rick Berman, I mean, not that I would have liked Rick Berman to be the one in charge of this, but Rick Berman was trying to get together, like, a big crossover film with, like, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, and Next Generation characters, which would have been a ton of fun. I think it was called Star Trek IMAX at the time. That was sort of the working title. So, we'll see. Talking about Lower Decks, I am so pumped for Lower Decks. I'm actually jealous. Ket Walski got to go to the premiere, and I wasn't invited. The online digital premiere, and I was invited. He's seen the first episodes. I haven't, and I'm very upset about it. Cancel it. Cancel Lower Decks. Mike McMahon, you're canceled. You didn't invite me for this. Yeah, I was kind of sad that I didn't get, like, if you look on Twitter, people have gotten those, like, digital, those, like, Lower Decks, like, red carpet cutout things that they've been sending to people. And I'm like, oh, man, I would really love one of those. That would have been so much fun. I would have done that on this live stream. I would have had fun with those little cardboard cutouts. But alas, I'm not deemed worthy enough of the Lower Decks premiere. But, yeah, no, it's totally okay. I'm just joking. I'm joshing around. I'm actually super pumped for Lower Decks. Ket Walski did a review on his channel earlier today, like a little, like, teaser for it. And he has me very, very excited for the show. I'm very sad that we still haven't figured out the international rights, but, you know, Mike McMahon talked about it, and it's like because of COVID, everything's just up in the air and crazy. So I'm kind of sad that my international friends out there, which some of you are watching this right now, that not everyone's going to be able to participate in the premiere, in the fun, which is sad, but it just means that we get to, when you guys get it, we will be able to share our excitement with you. But yeah, I'm going to be reviewing all of them. I'm very, very excited for it. Honestly, this is the show I'm probably most excited for, I mean, right now. So, whoa, Joystick Gaming, where are you? Whoa, hey! Nice to see you, Joysticknick Gaming. Joysticknick? Is that how you say your name? It's good to see you. Joysticknick is a wonderful creator who I found a few weeks ago who does Twitch streams, right? Is that fair to say, Joysticknick? It's good to see you, and I've been following you on Twitter, and I'll be honest, I actually caught you because you submitted an application to Polygon as well, and I caught your Polygon application. I thought it was really brilliant, and I decided to follow you. So just hopefully, if you got the job, I'd be like, hey, you're on that celebrity train, and I was here before. It was cool. So yeah, no, go give Joysticknick a follow. He's an absolutely wonderful person. I've been catching you here and there online, and it's nice to see you here. So, but what was I talking? I lost sort of the thread of what I was talking about because I was complimenting another wonderful person. Star Trek Lower Decks. Very excited about it. Ket Walski seems like he's really into it. I'm super pumped about it. I'll be giving, I'll be doing my usual thing tomorrow. So when Star Trek Lower Decks goes up on online, I'll be watching it with my roommate, and then I'll be giving my reviews as soon as I possibly can. So expect, for those of you who are curious about it, expect my review of Star Trek Lower Decks next tomorrow night. Either tomorrow night or first thing Friday morning, but probably tomorrow night. Just depends on when they're dropping, what time they drop Lower Decks. But yeah, that's the plan. I'll be reviewing Star Trek Lower Decks in the near future. So yeah, don't worry, Joysticknick. I submitted too. I didn't get it either. So whatever. We'll move on. We'll get to do stuff. It'll be fun. I'm looking forward to your next video. But yeah, I got the same message yesterday that I didn't get the Polygon job, which sucks. But you know, whoever gets it, I'm sure will be a worthy and wonderful human as well. So I'll be excited to follow whoever does end up getting that position. Sadly, it won't be me. But, I'm sure whoever gets it will be equally as excited as I would have been and equally as deserving. So I'm very excited to see whoever gets it have the success that I'm sure they deserve and have worked hard for. Pedro, I know you just submitted a 3-part question that I just want a quick look at. I recently rewatched Into Darkness. In the middle, I kind of found myself enjoying it. But as soon as I finished it, I started thinking about how it depends on Wrath of Khan, but it doesn't even recognize it. I think if the entire movie constructed on the interactions Prime Spock and Kelvin Spock had in the movie, it happens off camera. So I thought that maybe if Prime and Spock told Kelvin Spock that he had to die to defeat Khan, then the audience would have a proper sentimental anchor to that very bright, noisy, and tumultuous film. I agree. I mean, I just finished my Star Trek Into Darkness retrospective video that'll be going up later this month. So you'll hear my bigger thoughts on it. But something I don't talk about in that video is I talk about how I actually talked about this with Trek Lad. On Treklad's podcast, which I was on, but we kind of ranted about Into Darkness for a little while too, because he liked my Star Trek 2009 retrospective. And basically, the change that I would make to that movie, that I think would fix all of the problems after it, is you just make Khan Gary Mitchell. Fixes pretty much that entire movie, in my opinion, because I think a lot of the structure for the first 2/3 of that film is actually pretty decent. There's a couple things here and there, like the fact that they can get to Kronos so quickly. But that's a sort of whatever sort of thing. But the main bones of that plot of like, this idea of the militarization of Starfleet and sort of Marcus's view of Starfleet versus Pike's view of Starfleet, and Pike sort of passing on his ideals to Kirk, and Marcus sort of passing his ideals onto Khan. That's actually really strong. And then eventually Kirk and Khan teaming up, but then Khan betraying him. But if you make that Marcus and have if you make Mitchell Khan, and have Mitchell be like an academy friend of Kirk's, and then and so then Kirk has a much stronger tie. So like when Khan gets captured, he realizes like, oh shoot, it's Mitchell, my friend from the academy, and then he's seen how Marcus has warped Mitchell to be like they both have the same starting place, Kirk and Mitchell, but then Mitchell's been warped by Marcus. And, Kirk has been influenced by Pike. And so they've both had different growing points, different viewpoints of what Starfleet should be, militarized or not, and then they eventually team up in the end. But because of how Mitchell's been warped by Marcus, he eventually betrays Kirk. It adds more of a personal stake to it and really draws out the themes more instead of it just being randomly Khan. And they would also probably have stopped the writers from making it a Wrath of Khan remake in the end. Because the original ideas in that film are actually great. It's just that I think the writers, because we have Khan, they felt the need to do Wrath of Khan stuff when you really didn't need to. I would have actually been fine if it stayed Khan, but they just didn't try to remake Khan. But I think if you make it Mitchell, you sort of remove that impetus in the writers' room to sort of do those odes to Wrath of Khan. So yeah, I just think really everything sort of fits if you make it Gary Mitchell. Anyways, sorry, ranting about Star Trek Into Darkness. But yeah, thank you, Gozer. Rejoice, I have returned. It's nice to see you, Council of Geeks. Welcome. I'll bow down to the head of the council. Let's see. Have you watched Transformers War for Cybertron Siege on Netflix? No, I haven't. I'm not a big Transformers fan, but I probably will check it out. I probably will do it once, because I know it's like the first part of a trilogy. So probably once the trilogy finishes on Netflix, like they've released all 3 films, I probably will watch it. I mean, I did like when they did something similar. They had the Godzilla trilogy of movies, animated movies, a year or two ago. And I thought those 3, they had like a trilogy of 3 animated Godzilla movies, which were fantastic. I forget the name of them, but that would be a lot of fun. I love those films, so I think the Transformers movie, I probably will enjoy it, but I'm just probably going to wait until it's all over and just binge them all in one fell swoop. So we'll see how it goes. Star Trek Into Mitchell. That sounds dirty. Or it's like into the oh gosh, what do they call it? Fantastic Voyage, where they shrink down and go inside somebody. Star Trek Into Mitchell. That's actually a fun. I'm surprised they haven't done that as. I guess they've done it in episodes, but it'd be kind of interesting they did it in a movie, where a big budget Star Trek movie where they shrink down and go inside somebody. That would be kind of fun. So, I am a completionist, Council of Geeks. That is one of my problems. I mean, you can see here, this is a major problem. When you're on the autism spectrum, you like to have nice sets of things, and also just being a completionist. I feel an absolute need to collect everything once I finish it. So that's why you see here I have all the Rainbow Batman. I have pretty much every version of Harley Quinn Funko Pop up until a year or two ago. I have all the rings. I have all the Enterprises. You can't see them up there, but I have all the Enterprises from the original all the way to the E up on the top there. Welcome to my both my pleasure and my insanity is just needing to complete everything, and that extends to movies and TV shows. So if I start watching a TV show, I think we talked about this during one of our podcast recordings. If I watch one thing, I need to watch all of it. So Star Trek into Captain Pike's darkest timeline. I mean, that is an interesting question, to be honest. Like, do you think Kelvin Pike or Prime Pike had the worst outcome, to be very honest with you? I mean, I guess Prime Pike does, at the very least, have a happy ending in the long run. Like, he does like get to go and live out his life on I'm blanking on the planet, the Cage planet with the Talosians, Talos 4. There we go. So at least he has like a pseudo happy ending, but he does have several years of basically just being confined to a BP chair. And that's not like trying to be ableist on anybody. I certainly understand people who, I mean, it's horrifying to be in that situation, but like the very fact that he just had, like, clearly he has some form of being able to communicate, and all they give him is a damn BP chair. That's cruel. That's the cruel part. So like he has to spend years when people are like, yeah, we probably could give him like something to be able to communicate like Stephen Hawking's had, but I think the beeps are really the way to go here, you know. So yeah, that's a bit hellish, and so the fact that he just out and out dies in yeah, like even Morse code. I agree, Beta Artemis. They don't even like teach him Morse code. It's like, look, I'm sure like Pike would be like, look, if I could just learn Morse code, I could at least have conversations. But it's like, no. You got 1 for yes, 2 for no. That's about all you need, right? You're good, Pike. It's just, it's just ridiculous. So honestly, in a lot of ways, Kelvin Pike's just dying is probably a little bit kinder in a lot of ways. Yeah, Jody, yeah, they actually talked about that. I think Anson Mount or Akiva Goldsman, I forget who, did an interview, and they talked about how Pike, knowing his future, actually is going to play into Strange New Worlds. So I'm actually very excited to see how that's going to go. Oh, thank you, Catherine. So you got the first book in the Expanse trilogy. Well, that is awesome. I need to actually just do a full video on the Expanse. I have one kind of planned out. I just need to actually do it because I'm lazy. But I love the Expanse so much. So tell me what you think once you get into the books. Tell me what you think. I've loved all of them, and I'm very excited for the last one. And the show's fantastic too. I adore the show. In fact, my favorite character in the show is actually much better in the show than he is in the books. And that would be Amos. Amos is my favorite character in both the show and the books, but definitely in the show, I think he's actually better. Well, it was good to see you, Pedro. Thank you so much for joining us. Sorry you have to run. Have a good night yourself. Enjoy the podcast recording. But yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, Axiom's End. I do want to read Axiom's End. I have the audiobook of it. I'm a huge Lindsay Ellis fan, so I'm curious to see, if she, what she wrote. I know. I mean, we're probably going to get all of the Expanse, Anna, because Jeff Bezos, is a huge fan of it, which, screw billionaires and all that stuff. We don't need them. But, the one good thing Jeff Bezos did is he renewed the Expanse. So, you know what? I'll take what I can get. It's nice when that's the level of things that I want. If I ever became a billionaire, I would try not to do any evil stuff, not try and do anything awful. But what I would do is just like give money to things and just like be like, hey, I have a spare $2 million. Why don't you just make me a new Stargate show? Just go to MGM and be like, hey, I'm gonna give you $5 million. Just make me a Stargate show, or whatever amount of million you need. But just make me a Stargate show. That would be how I would use my billionaire powers. Exactly. Who needs economic justice? We have spaceships on TV. Exactly. I don't need. Yeah, just save my TV shows, Jeff Bezos. It's fine. You can totally ruin. You can create a post-capitalist hellscape. It's totally fine. Just give me the Expanse. That's all I need. That's really. But have you watched the Umbrella Academy? Actually, I just finished season 2 today. I actually really liked Umbrella Academy season 2 much better than season 1. Season 1, I think, had that problem of like kind of being the Netflix problem where it was like, oh my gosh, it's dragging on forever. I kind of see where it's going. It's a bit meandering in a couple aspects. That's sort of my problem with most Netflix shows, where it just kind of meanders for a while and just feels overly long. But season 2 of Umbrella Academy, I actually really enjoyed. I thought they felt, even though in many ways it was like trying to redo season 1 in a few different ways, I felt like the characters were much more defined. Their arcs were much more defined. Everything felt like it breezed by a little bit for. And the episodes were shorter, which I think helped too. They were only 40 minutes or so. However, I will say, if you like Umbrella Academy, watch Doom Patrol. Doom Patrol is pretty much a very similar show to Umbrella Academy, but I think is a lot weirder. And personally, I think a lot better, but I might be a bit biased just because it's DC Comics and I like DC Comics. But Doom Patrol is very, very similar to Umbrella Academy, but I kind of like Doom Patrol a little bit better because it's a lot stranger. One of my favorite characters is a character who she has multiple personality. It's not multiple personality disorder. It's quite literally different people living in her head, full personalities living in her head, and each personality has a different superpower. So I really, really, really liked that. But Umbrella Academy Season 2 I thought was really, really solid. Some good twists and turns. Fives. I adore Fives. I think Fives is a really interesting character. So I love him. And yeah, I agree. Season 1 had a million things to establish, and Season 2 got to play. I definitely agree. Season 2 had a lot more fun with, like, its crazy, trippy, weird stuff. Uh-oh. Looks like... Oh, no. Let's see. Oh, no. All my cameras went away, except for this one. That's very strange. Huh. That is weird, weird, weird. Sorry, I'm going to just hang with me here for a second. I'm going to see... Why did my cameras just die on you? Okay, this one's working. Why did this one just die? I wonder. Weird. Okay, that was strange. Probably because I have 3 cameras running through here, and my computer is probably not meant to have 3 cameras running at once. That's probably what happened there. So that was weird. Sorry about that. Don't know what happened there. But yeah, probably just because I have 3 cameras set up, and the computer's like, I don't know what's supposed to be happening here. So sorry about that. Should give iZombie a watch. I really enjoyed that show. I did want to watch iZombie. I heard good things, but I never got a chance to get into it, and it just sort of missed me. Not that I thought it was bad. I just never got into it. Wait. The creator of Umbrella Academy wrote a Doom Patrol comic series? Really? I didn't know that. I know the Doom Patrol one that I got into was Gerald Way. Who writes Umbrella Academy? Was that Gerald Way? I don't even know who wrote the original Umbrella Academy. I haven't done actually much looking into the actual comics of it. Because again, completionist me. I know if I start reading other comics, I will get way crazy with it. So I try to stick to DC Comics. Because I know if I get into Marvel or any other side stuff, I will just have to read it all. But I am curious. Who? Yeah, Gerald Way. Gerard Way. Huh. Well, now I have to actually read the comics too, because I loved his Doom Patrol take, and that makes perfect sense. I'm actually curious which came first. Thank you for letting me know that. Who said that? I forgot who said that. That's so cool. How did I not know that? That's insane. And didn't Gerard Way, wasn't he the one who actually created, or am I crazy? Did he create, the Old Guard, right? Umbrella came first. Huh. Sorry, you guys are blowing my mind right now. I actually had no idea. Huh. Well, dang, that's probably why I like both Doom Patrol and Umbrella Academy. Still like Doom Patrol more, but again, that's probably a DC Comics bias more than anything. Wow, okay. Yeah, Doom Patrol and Umbrella Academy. That makes perfect sense. Though I'm surprised. I mean, I guess you get a chance to write for DC, you'll just take it. But it's just funny that he did that. Greg Rucka. I'm just confusing everybody. Don't listen to me. If it's not DC, I don't know it. I know a little bit of Marvel stuff. That's about it. So I can tell you all about DC Comics. When it comes outside of that, I have no idea. So Grant Morrison's Doom Patrol is fantastic as well. Gerard Way is the one that I got into. But Grant Morrison I also read, and his is also fantastic. What is your favorite Starfleet uniform? Gracie Decker says. That is a good question. Probably the disco Disco era Enterprise, like the disco version of the TOS uniforms. I just like that collar, and like since I own one now and I've worn it in a few videos, it's very comfy too, and just looks very flattering. So yeah, I would probably say the disco era TOS uniforms. I also have a affinity for the Enterprise uniforms too, because they aren't the most visual to look at, but I like how they are sort of feel like an evolution between NASA uniforms and Starfleet uniforms, sort of that in between those two things. So I thought that creatively they were very very interesting, and also had pockets. And there goes my camera again. Weird. I don't know if you could hear me anymore, but my camera that's so weird. I don't know why my camera was just failing on me. Sorry everybody on that front. That's weird. Most comfortable, I probably would say. Most comfortable is probably the original TOS era costume, just because it's a t-shirt. It's a t-shirt. T-shirts are comfy. All the other uniforms are uniforms, so you have to like button them up and everything. You look nice in them, but they're uniforms. And oh my gosh, I'm gonna try and turn off some of these cameras because I think it's what's crashing everything. I'm gonna move this because this is the only one that doesn't seem like it's crashing at all. So I'm gonna move this here. Sorry about that, everybody. Don't know why that's happening. Like I said, it's probably because I'm running too many cameras, but this one doesn't look like it's failing on me, so I'll just move that. But yeah, I would probably say the TOS era was probably the most comfy just because they were a t-shirt. So. Oh, motion picture, yeah. Motion picture with the pajama uniforms, right? Those are probably the most comfy uniforms of all time because they were just the pajama uniforms. So. I also could go crazy and just be like here. And just like. Now you get to see all the Jessie. And Jadzia. She's just creepily staring. Just thought it'd be fun. So. Sorry, I'm having too much fun with the cameras. It's too much fun to play around with them. Let's see. What else does everyone else want to talk about? I've never seen the Hellraiser movies. I've never seen them. That's kind of interesting, actually. I do want to see the Hellraiser movies at some point, but I've never actually gotten around to watching them, which I probably should because I feel like I would enjoy them. My roommate, actually, he used to way back in the day. Who wrote Hellraiser? It was famous. I'm blanking on the writer's name, but my roommate used to work for him way back in the day. Why am I blanking on his name? Oh God, I'm blanking on his name. But he was great. He did write great dark fantasy stuff and everything like that. I can't remember his name. Clive Barker. Thank you, Council. What would I do without you, Council? But yeah, Clive Barker. My roommate used to work for Clive Barker way back, right before he passed away. But yeah, my roommate used to work for him. I don't know why I keep saying that over and over again, but anyways, my roommate will talk about Hellraiser for hours, and I've just never seen it, which I feel bad. I feel like a bad roommate. Jody, I love how Alex Kurtzman is being so cool and letting Star Trek Online put all this new Star Trek content in the game. I've made this argument before about Alex Kurtzman. Do I think he's a perfect writer or creator? No, I have many criticisms of Alex Kurtzman writing, but I would make the argument, and I'm sure someone will probably none of you in the chat, but someone I'm sure will find this clip at some point and use it against me. But I actually will argue that I think Alex Kurtzman probably is the best head of Star Trek that Star Trek has ever had. Just hands down. Besides maybe Nicholas Meyer. And I guess you have Harv Bennett in there too. But I would argue that. I mean, do I think he is the best creator for Star Trek ever that we could have ever had? No, I'm sure there's people I would have liked in charge of things more than Kurtzman. That's not a knock against him. There's like certain creators that I really love and would like to see run Star Trek and see what they would do with it. But in terms of what he has allowed the Trek universe, how he has allowed the Trek universe to expand, the voices he's brought in, the people he has put up front, I really like him. I think he's doing a great job and is probably the best head Star Trek has ever had. Is he the best that Star Trek could have? Maybe not. But that's true of really anybody, to be honest with you. But I think he's definitely doing better than Rick Berman. Arguably, he's better than Nicholas Meyer or Harv Bennett. And I know this is sacrilegious, but honestly, I think he's doing better than Gene Roddenberry did towards the end there, especially during Next Generation's time. I know, blasphemous. People are gonna get me and attack me. But yeah, no, Alex Kurtzman, he seems like a cool dude, which is a step up from Rick Berman. Rick Berman just seemed to be a jerk on many fronts, and wanted to put every woman in a cat suit. It's very weird. Like I was listening to an interview with Brannon Braga and Rick Berman about Star Trek Enterprise, and it was so weird. They were talking about the casting of Enterprise and everything. And Brannon Braga is actually talking about the characters and his problems with it. Like, he's like, oh, I had problems with Mayweather just because, like, I thought his perspective was interesting. But, like, once he got on the ship, it's like, who cares what the boomer has to say? Which is a great quote from Brannon Braga, unintentionally. But yeah, so Brannon Braga is making all these interesting comments. And then all of a sudden, Rick Berman just like, yeah, and then having to cast the hot woman on the show was really hard, too. And we found Jolene Blaylock. And you just see Brannon Braga just, like, go... And yeah, she was a really interesting Vulcan too, and like talking about a character, but then Rick Berman just keeps bringing it to like, yeah, she was very, very hot and everything like that. It was very hard to find someone who could act and also looked really hot. I'm like, and you could just tell Rick Berman was like a tad uncomfortable. And yes, you should see yourself out, Council of Geeks. But yeah, he was just like, so yeah, no, Rick Berman seems like a jerk. So. Or at the very least, very sexist. So yeah, and homophobic too, and from certain reports I've heard. So yeah, Alex Kurtzman, I give him full props. Seems like a chill dude. Seems like he's allowing good people to try and write good Star Trek. I like Alex Kurtzman. He seems like a good guy. So, have you seen the Sonic movie? Asks Corey. I have. Thought it was fine. It's a movie. I don't really have many more opinions other than that. I'm actually a big Sonic fan. Sonic Adventure 2 is one of my favorite games of all time. And I played pretty much every single Sonic game. And in fact, I even put on my Polygon resume. Played every Sonic game, which is probably why I didn't get the job. But I'm a huge Sonic fan. I was excited for the movie. I don't think it's just the problem that I have with so many movies like that, where it's just like, oh, we have this cool sci-fi world and lore, but we're going to ignore all of that just to like, oh, we're just going to set him in the modern day. And it's just like, okay, it's a Sonic movie where he's teaming up with a cop character. It just felt so not a Sonic movie in any real way. The only thing really that stood out for me in that movie was Jim Carrey, obviously, playing Robotnik. I thought he had a lot of fun with it. I enjoyed his take on the character. But the rest of Sonic, I just thought was like, it's not bad, but it really didn't do anything for me. And it's sad because I actually think it'd be really cool to go balls to the wall crazy with Sonic stuff. There's one of my favorite like animated kid shows of all time was Sonic. Was it Sonic Adventures? Which is the one where like he's a freedom fighter. Like Robotnik has totally destroyed the entire planet. Destroyed like the entirety of the ecosystem and made everyone robots, and then Sonic leads a group of like resistance fighters against him. I thought that was super, like that would have been a cool way to go. Probably would have required a hell of a lot more budget, which is probably why they didn't do it. So I understand, but yeah, I probably that would have been a much more interesting route to go down. Did I see Detective Pikachu? Yes, and that's actually a good example of how you do it, in my opinion. Detective Pikachu, do I think Detective Pikachu was the best movie of all time? No, but I thought it actually used it actually set it in the world of Pokemon and used the world of Pokemon to great effect. It wasn't like, oh, let's bring Pikachu into the real world. It was actually set in the Pokemon world, and I enjoyed that a hell of a lot more than I did Sonic. Thought it was much more interesting. I thought that was a much better movie. It felt like a baby's first noir, is honestly what it was. Like, it felt like a noir film that happened to be a Pokemon movie as well. And the mystery wasn't really all that crazy or surprising. Like, I kind of could tell all the beats beforehand. But it felt like if I was a kid who had never seen a detective movie or never seen a noir film ever, I would have been like, oh, this is so cool. So yeah, it felt like a baby's first noir film. And it happened to be Pokemon, and I thought it was a lot of fun. So yeah, I think it was good. Not really sci-fi, but do you watch BoJack Horseman? I have. I love BoJack Horseman. I wanted to do a video on BoJack Horseman at one point, but there were other videos that said what I wanted to say better than I probably could have, and didn't really have much to add to it. So I just sort of like, I won't bother. But BoJack Horseman, I adore that show. One of my favorite shows of all time. I'm sad that it was all over. Jesse, are you going to watch The Boys season 2, and have you watched season 1? Yes, and yes to both of those. I love The Boys. I thought that was a lot of fun. Definitely like exactly what I mean. That is like my favorite kind of like Superman story sort of thing. Like I love when Superman is the Superman type character. I think he's called the Patriot in The Boys, like the Superman sort of thing. But like when he's used as a symbol and like deconstructed as a symbol, I think that's a really great use of Superman. So I really like The Boys. I thought it was a really great deconstruction of that show and sort of the inherent like American propaganda and like fascistic sort of ideology behind like American policies. Not Superman, obviously he's not fascistic, but like the concepts behind him have been sort of used in there. Plus you also got Carl Urban, as Enforcer 6K brings out. I mean, Carl Urban, fantastic in everything. Name me a single thing that Carl Urban wasn't good in. I'll wait, because he can't. I'll be waiting here till the day I die, because Carl Urban is great in everything. So yeah, I really like The Boys, and I'm very excited for season 2. The only thing that I didn't love about it, and I kind of have mixed feelings about, I didn't hate it, but there was the unfortunate thing of like the Aquaman character, I forget his name, the Aquaman type character, he had the sexual harassment of the girl character, Dazzler, or whatever her name was. I'm blanking on characters, it's been a while since I watched the show, which I thought the show handled well. I think it handled that sort of thing well in terms of sexual assault. The Deep, thank you. But the problem that I had with it later on is they kind of had his character get his comeuppance, which again is a good way to go. If you're going to have a sexual abuser or sexual abuser in a show, he should get his comeuppance at some point, or at least be the things that he is being used for addressed. But the way that they had him get his comeuppance was he was also sexually assaulted himself, and it was played for laughs. And I just don't find male sexual assault funny. It's a real problem that a lot of it's a real problem that they just have male sexual assault played for laughs in so many things. So that was my main problem with the show. That was sort of my main problem. Like I'm not sure. I don't feel comfortable with playing his comeuppance through sexual assault and playing it kind of for humor. Was not something I was really happy with. That being said, and it's something it's hard to excuse, but it's not because it's not really my thing to excuse. But I do think the rest of The Boys was great. I think it's fantastic. But that is something that is worth bringing up when you talk about The Boys. So yeah, I also should say it's by no means the most egregious version of that I've seen. So again, it's one of those, like, I don't want to dismiss that because it is a major problem. But I did still like the rest of The Boys. So it's sort of like one thing we should talk about. So yeah, but I am looking forward to season 2 of it. So sorry, I sort of ended on a very, very dark note on it and a dark criticism of it. But I do like the show overall. But I do think that was a particular egregious problem. So I kind of want to watch BoJack Horseman, but I don't have a particularly good mental state, and I don't think a show like that would do wonders for me at this point in my life. Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree, Corey. I mean, I do think the overall message of BoJack Horseman is a positive one and a hopeful one. But it does get very nihilistic and dark and depressing at points. But I do think the overall message of the show is like, sometimes you just you got to keep working, and you got to keep working to improve yourself, and you're not always going to it's not going to be this big revelation. Like, that's what we always kind of look for in our lives. We're like, all right, if I work really hard, I'm going to get this big reward. There'll be this big light at the end of the tunnel, and everything will work together, and it'll fix all my problems, and that never happens. And that's what Bojack always looks for. He's like, I'm going to improve myself a little bit. I'm going to work really hard, and then I get my reward at the end, right? And that's not how it goes. That's not how life. Not how life goes. In a lot of ways, it's just like you just constantly work, and sometimes you get rewarded, sometimes you don't. But it doesn't mean that you shouldn't keep trying. And it tells that through a very asshole character who does not learn that lesson at all for the longest time. But I do think I do think the message of the show is overall positive and funny. But yeah, it is a bit dark. So if you're not always in the best mental state, I totally understand putting it aside. I certainly understand needing escapism right now. So. I'm in no hurry to get to the boys. I really haven't been able to take to Garth Ennis. I find him to be about 70% as clever as he thinks he is. I can generally understand that. I will say I like the boys quite a bit because it hit me in a particular way. Plus, it's a Justice League knockoff, so I think that's probably why I particularly liked it. But I do think it's one of those, like, you don't need to rush out and see it. But I enjoyed it, so it is what it is. What did Garth Ennis do? I'm blanking on it because I know I've read his other stuff, but I'm blanking on what else Garth Ennis did. Garth Ennis. Sorry, I'm looking him up real quick because I just want to be able to make sure I talk. Oh, Preacher. Yeah, Preacher was another. I liked the Preacher show. What else did he do? The Darkness. Darkness was blah. The game was fun though. The Boys. What else did you write, Garth Ennis? For some reason, the site is not giving me like a full bibliography right there. Yeah, his big thing is Preacher. I liked Preacher. I didn't read the comics. I liked the show. Season 1 was rough, but the rest of that show I thought was pretty solid. It didn't blow me away, but I thought Preacher was okay as a show. But what are you gonna do? The Boys as well. Yeah, those are his big things. Preacher and the Boys, I guess, are the big ones. I guess he wrote a Hellblazer comic too. It says here, Hitman. He wrote for a while. Yeah, nothing here really sticks out to me as like I give a crap all that much. Preacher's okay. Yeah, that's kind of my thought. That's my thought on it. Bojack Hates the Troops sold me on it. The bit towards the end where he basically eating crow in the face of American worship of the military told me the show had a lot of interesting bits. Yeah, I agree. I mean, BoJack Horseman. I'm not in the industry, but I live in LA, and I've been wanting to get into Hollywood for the longest time. And I have friends who do work in the industry, and pretty much everything you see in that show about how Hollywood works is pretty much spot on, like to a T, spot on. If you watch BoJack Horseman, how Hollywood works and is framed in that show is played for laughs, obviously, and heightened, but definitely not inaccurate. So I think it definitely had some really biting criticism of the Hollywood industry. Palm Springs. Yes, Christy asks, have I seen Palm Springs? Yes, and I adore it. It's my favorite movie of the year so far. If anyone's interested, on Letterboxd, I review every single movie that I watch, and I also have a list on Letterboxd where I'm ranking every 2020 movie that I've seen. I do that almost every year, where I rank all the movies of the year that came out in the year. And currently, number 1 stands Palm Springs. That might change, but Palm Springs is my favorite movie this year. And I actually want to do a video about time loops and talk about some of my favorite time loop things, because the other video that I did a few weeks ago about Outer Wilds, which is my favorite video game of 2019. My favorite video game of 2019, Outer Wilds, is also a time loop video game, a time loop story. So there's been some really interesting time loop stories going on, like Palm Springs, Russian Doll, Outer Wilds as well. There's been a few other ones too. Star Trek Discovery had one. Star Trek had one. One of my favorite episode of Stargate is a time loop episode. And good to see you, Corey. Thank you for hanging out. So yeah, I do want to do a video about time loops at some point. I'm just trying to think of the best angle on it. I think I want to tie it to like the Legend of Sisyphus, like rolling the rock up the mountain. And I just want to there's an angle in time loops that I want to get into at some point, but I just need to figure out the best message for it. But that is a video that is in my brain currently. I did play Life is Strange, Harry. One of my favorite games of all time as well. I haven't beaten Life is Strange 2, but Life is Strange and Life is Strange Before the Storm are two of my favorite video games of all time. I adore Life is Strange so much. I do want to beat Life is Strange 2, and I'm also very excited for... I do have a Life is Strange... their next game, which I forget the name of it, is starring a trans man. The same company who made Life is Strange, their next game coming out is featuring a trans man character, which I am also so pumped for. So we should get into that. And yeah, someone just asked, did Doctor Who ever do a time loop episode? And it feels like something they would have done, but why can't I think of it? Oh, Heaven Sent. Yes, thank you, Flurkin. Yes, okay, yes, Heaven Sent. Yeah, Heaven Sent is a great Doctor Who. In fact, one of my favorite Doctor Who episodes of all time. I adore Heaven Sent. Less so Hellbent, but and I know Council, you'll agree with me on that one. But yeah, Heaven Sent is amazing. And yeah, Council, we should talk next time at our next recording. We should sit down and we should talk about time loop stuff, because that would actually we haven't done like a actual collab video. We've done Farscape and stuff. I shouldn't talk about this on live streams because then people will expect stuff, but because I don't know if that's something you'd want to do, but I would love to collab about a time loop sort of thing. That'd be kind of fun. We could see if we could figure out something creative to do there. And in live stream, don't expect anything, because it's just sort of seeing, we're just sort of talking here, but that would be fun to do. Hellbent, angry face, Council of Geeks. Yeah, I do want to do a video that I am planning on doing in the near future. I'm going to I need to get a whiteboard, kind of like Council you did in your latest video, but you kind of inspired me. I want to do a video where I go through and draw out kind of a comedic video where I draw out the Star Trek timeline, but put in all the time travel episodes. So I want to do that, and then I want to do, when I get to Cause and Effect, the Cause and Effect episode, I wanted the timeline just to be get to be a circle, and I'm gonna call it like Frasier's Loop, because obviously Kelsey Grammer. Yeah, that should be a fun video at some point. Looper was great. I love Looper. Rian Johnson. I mean, that's what got him The Last Jedi for better or worse. Happy Death Day. Oh, Harry, you didn't like Happy Death Day? I loved Happy Death Day. I thought Happy Death Day 2 was insane. I love Happy Death Day 1. I think was a solid film. Happy Death Day 2, I actually think is actually better. I think Happy Death Day 2 is insane and it's hard to talk about it without spoiling. Because yeah, there's a twist in Happy Death Day 2 that I just think takes that movie to the next level, and I can't say it without spoiling the fun of it. But I think Happy Death Day 1 is great, but if you are thinking about it, go through that series just to get to Happy Death Day 2, because Happy Death Day 2 is fantastic and is a really great, really great surprise. Yeah, Babylon 5 has a really great time travel story as well. I don't want to spoil because I know Council of Geeks hasn't watched Babylon 5, which upsets me deeply. But then again, I'm watching Farscape with him, so I guess who hates who. The time loop episode and the time loop stuff in Babylon 5, the 3-part story there is so good because it takes seasons to pay off. Breaks my mind. You watch the first episode, I think it's in season 1. There's this weird time loop stuff in season 1 happens. Then it never gets brought up again for 2 or 3 seasons. And you're like, what happened there? I don't understand. There's some weird stuff that never happened. You wonder if it's going to get paid off ever. And then 2 seasons later, they bring it back in a 2-parter. And you're like, oh my God. That is how that all fits together. It's so good. It's part of the reason I love Babylon 5, because that is a show that had you can tell everything was planned out, or at least he had a very, very good idea of where everything was heading in that show, because he sets things up that don't even pay off until seasons 3 or 4, but feels so intentional, and you can tell that he really Michael Straczynski had a real plan for Babylon 5. So that's great. I don't want to talk too much more about it because it's it'd be spoilers, and I don't want to ruin it for anyone, and specifically one specific person here. And you are quoting Florida Joker Council. Disappointed. Is that Jared Leto Joker? Yeah, I'm assuming. I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna hurt you really, really badly. What else did Jared Leto's Joker say? Like he just like purred at one point. I think he purred like the Joker just purred. I don't know what's happening right now. It's just uncomfortable. I was kind of hoping they would kill him off in Birds of Prey. That Harley would kill off Jared Leto Joker and then just be done with him. But alas, probably not. Or alas, they didn't do that. But so, all right, everybody. I think I'm gonna head out. I'm gonna start wrapping this up. I'll give you one last look at Scary Jadzia Dax over my shoulder there. She's staring into your soul there. Hopefully you're enjoying that. But yes, thank you, everybody. I'm going to head out for the evening just because my voice, I can start feeling my voice getting a little bit sore and everything. And I got a few other things to do. But just a quick promote stuff. Oh, hey, Jane. It's nice to see you. Quick promote stuff. I'm just trying to think. Tomorrow, like I said, for the next 23 weeks, there's not going to be any Wednesday video, just because I'll be doing Thursday videos, which is going to be my reviews of every episode of Star Trek. So I'll be looking tomorrow night for my review of the first episode of Star Trek Lower Decks. It'll go up as soon as I watch the episode and have a chance to record it. So whenever Star Trek Lower Decks drops, expect probably my review to go up very soon thereafter in the next few hours after that point. That'll be just going on for the next 23 Thursdays of Star Trek. So no more Wednesday videos, just Thursday videos for at least the next 23 weeks. And then Friday video coming out is this part 2 of my Star Trek 2009 review. And what else to promote? Oh, don't forget to check out What the Frel, which I do with Council of Geeks, who is hanging out with us right here in the live stream where we rewatch Farscape. So please check that out. And I think that is pretty much all the major stuff. So thank you, everyone, for joining. And, of course, Jeru? I think I was combining Jayla and Saru there. But Saru and I say goodbye. And I bid you all a wonderful good night. So thank you so much. And